Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Echo Aftab. As promised, I am here today with a new theory, a new class. As I told in my last class when we were discussing about cardinal utility analysis, there are two important laws that comes under cardinal utility approach. The first law, law of diminishing marginal utility, we have completed. Now we are going to start with the second law, and that is the law of equi-marginal utility. Myself, Aftab Bhai. Same law, different names. The law is referred to in several ways, such as we popularly know this law as the law of equi-marginal utility, it is also known as principle of equi-marginal returns. It is also called as the principle of marginal comparisons, and it is also known as the law of substitution. Apart from this, friends, the law of equi-marginal utility is also called as Gaussian's second law. Law of diminishing marginal utility is Gaussian's first law. Gaussian was an economist who first developed the theory of diminishing marginal utility. At that time, it was not much popular, and he died it without knowing the popularity of this particular law. It was Alfred Marshall who popularized the law of diminishing marginal utility in his famous book Principles of Economics. Let us move ahead and see and try to understand what the law is with the help of an example. In my example, we'll take commodity X as 5-star chocolate, which is having a price of rupees 20. For our simplification, I will assume it to be of rupees 2. And the second commodity is dairy milk, the price of which is 30 rupees. Again, for simplification, for further understanding, for further solution of certain equations, we will assume it to be rupees 3. So here we are having two commodities, 5-star chocolate and dairy milk chocolate, each with the price of rupees 2 and rupees 3 respectively. And let us assume the consumer is having at his disposal 24 rupees. That is, this 24 rupees, it may be his pocket money, or you can call it to be his income. So the main thing that we have is we are having two goods, X and Y. We are having prices of these two goods, that is price of X and price of Y, and we are having the income of the consumer which is to be spent on these goods X and Y. So 24 rupees to be spent on 5-star and dairy milk chocolate. So this is the brief. Let us move ahead and see what is happening. So in this table, in the first column, we will take units of the commodity, and then we will take marginal utility of 5-star and marginal utility of dairy milk. Let us see, friends, what is happening over here. So when the consumer consumes the first unit of 5-star, the utility that he or she is getting is 20 utils of satisfaction, and the marginal utility deriving from dairy milk is 24 utils of satisfaction. You may ask me, so why you are taken 20 and 24? You can take any number. It is not the matter. You can take 10, you can take 14, you can take 50, you can take 100, you can take any number. But what matters is the second point. So when the consumer consumes second unit of these commodities, what will happen? So from the second unit of the consumption of 5-star chocolate, the utility that he gets is 18 utils, and from dairy milk he gets is 21 utils. So friends, here you can see we are saying that law of diminishing marginal utility is applied. That is, when consumer increases the consumption of a commodity, what is happening? The marginal utility is declining. So from first unit it was 20, from second unit the marginal utility has declined and it has become 18 for 5-star chocolate, and at the same time for dairy milk chocolate it has reduced and it has become 21. So the marginal utility is declining. if I want to just give a brief explanation about this thing, if the consumer feels that the marginal utility of 5-star is 20 utils and marginal utility of Dairy Milk is 24, so it is highest, and after that if it is going to reduce, so why not he should purchase 1 unit of both the commodities. So friends, as you know, the price of 5-star is rupees 2 and the price of Dairy Milk is rupees 3. So if he consumes 1 unit of 5-star and 1 unit of Dairy Milk, what is happening? So 1 into 2, this will be the expenditure on 5-star, plus 1 into, let us say plus 1 into 3. So this is the expenditure. So he is spending altogether 2 plus 3, that is 5 rupees. But what is the income that he is having? He is having 24 rupees income. From that, if he spends 5 rupees, still he has 19 rupees. So if he goes on spending this 19 rupees, then what will happen? Definitely his utility will be maximum. Now we need to find out what are the different combination of 5-star and Dairy Milk that will give him maximum utility, that is maximization of utility. Now in this case, if you see ahead, as the consumer increases the consumption beyond 2 units, what will happen to the marginal utility? The marginal utility will go on declining. If we consume 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th unit and so on, the marginal utility will reduce for 5-star from 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, and similarly the marginal utility of Dairy Milk will also reduce from 18, 15, 9, 3. So this you can see in case of 5-star and in case of Dairy Milk, in both the things law of diminishing marginal utility is applied. Now we need to know what is the combination, how many 5-stars and how many Dairy Milks will give him the maximum satisfaction. So this is what the law of equimarginal utility tells us. So what the law says is, the law of equimarginal utility states that the consumer will distribute his money income between the goods in such a way that the utility derived from the last rupee spent on each good is equal. So here you need to pay attention on this particular line, and that is last rupees spent. When you are speaking about last rupees spent on each good, what it is? Okay, so this is important phrase, last rupees spent on each good should be equal, or in other words, consumer will be in equilibrium position when his marginal utility of money expenditure on each good is the same. So here I am introducing to you one more concept, and that is marginal utility of money expenditure. So what they are telling is marginal utility of money expenditure on each good is the same, and here what is the last rupee spent. So friends, both these concepts, last rupee spent on each good as well as marginal utility of money expenditure, is one and the same. You will get more idea about it in my next slides. Moving ahead, now the question comes, what is this marginal utility of money expenditure? So marginal utility of money expenditure on a good is equal to the marginal utility of a good divided by the price of the good. So here marginal, if you are speaking about good X, it is marginal utility of good X and price of good X. So what is marginal utility of money expenditure? MUM. So marginal utility of money expenditure is equal to the ratio of marginal utility of good X divided by price of good X. In our case, it is marginal utility of Cadbury's divided by marginal utility of divided by price of Cadbury, or marginal utility of 5-star divided by price of 5-star. So this is what is marginal utility of money expenditure. MUM is equal to MUX divided by PX. I hope it is clear what is marginal utility of money expenditure. To get marginal utility of money expenditure, you need to divide marginal utility of that particular commodity with its price. Let us see ahead how to find out consumer equilibrium with regard to two goods. As you can see, law of diminishing marginal utility, it was telling us about equilibrium of the consumer. It was telling us about equilibrium of the consumer when the case was with regard to a single commodity, and normally the point of saturation was the equilibrium point where the marginal utility was reaching to 0. That was the point of equilibrium, or you can say the price of the commodity X was equal to the marginal utility of the commodity X. That is what was the equilibrium position. Price. So in case of zero price, the marginal utility is till the consumer gets zero satisfaction. In case of prices, the price of commodity X will be equal to the marginal utility of that commodity. That was the equilibrium position. Now, law of equimarginal utility through lies on consumer equilibrium in case of two goods. So here, why are we studying law of equimarginal utility? Because law of diminishing marginal was only with regard to single commodity, whereas law of equimarginal utility is with regard to two commodities. So the consumer is in equilibrium in respect of two goods X and Y when marginal utility of money expenditure is equal to the ratio of marginal utility of X to its price, which in turn will be equal to marginal utility of Y with divided by price of Y. So this is the main crux of law of equimarginal utility, and that is the ratio of marginal utility and price of different goods should be equal to each other and should be equal to the marginal utility of money expenditure. Now we will be applying this particular formula to see consumer equilibrium. Let us move ahead and see what it is and how to derive it. So please friends, in most of the competitive examinations, this question will be asked with regard to marginal utility of money expenditure. This is the consumer equilibrium formula, you can say. So marginal utility of money expenditure is the utility of the last rupee spent on each commodity, as I told you all. So both these concepts, last rupee spent on each good, is nothing but the marginal utility of money expenditure. Coming back to the table, as we had seen in the previous table, it was more like a table which was telling us about diminishing marginal utility. In this table also we are having units in the first column, and here instead of taking marginal utility of 5 star, I am taking marginal utility of money expenditure. You can see here what is been noted, it is marginal utility of money expenditure. So what is marginal utility of money expenditure? And here we are speaking about marginal utility of money expenditure with regard to dairy milk. So 5 star and dairy milk. So it is just not marginal utility, it is marginal utility of money expenditure. Now see how this thing will change. So I am taking the ratio of marginal utility and price of both the goods. Again for your reference, as I had said, the price of dairy milk is ₹2 and the price of the price of 5 star is ₹2 and the price of dairy milk is ₹3. I am extremely sorry. So this is for your reference. Now let us see, when the consumer is consuming first unit, what is the marginal utility of money expenditure? So from the first unit, if you remember the previous table, for 5 star, the marginal utility that the consumer was deriving was 20, and the price, as I told you, of 5 star is ₹2. So here in the first column we will get something 20 divided by 2, and that is equal to 10. So from first unit, the marginal utility of money expenditure for 5 star is 10. What is the marginal utility of money expenditure with regard to dairy milk? Again the same thing. We remember for first unit the marginal utility for dairy milk was 24, and now this 24 is to be divided with its price, and the price is rupees 3. So 24 divided by 3, and that is equal to 8. So now we have got the marginal utility of money expenditure for different goods. In case of 5 star it is 10, in case of dairy milk it is 8. For second unit the same logic applies, and it is 9 for 5 star and 7 for dairy milk. So if you continue like this, you will get a table where you are having the different values for marginal utility of money expenditure for different units of the commodities. So this is our marginal utility of money expenditure table. Now in this thing we say that the marginal utility of money expenditure should be equal to the price ratios and marginal utilities. So here friends, we are having 8, we are having 8. So marginal utility of x by px for 5 star is equal to both the things. So if I say at this particular point what is happening, please pay attention, it's very important. So at this particular point the consumer is consuming, let us say, 1 unit of y commodity, and the price of y is rupees 3, and is consuming 3 units of x commodity, and the price of it is rupees 2. So in this case what is happening? 3 plus 3 into 2, 6, 6 plus 3, it is 9. As I told you, 24 rupees is the money income of the consumer. From that if he is spending 9, still certain amount of money is left with him. So if you see, he is having with him 24 minus 9, that is still 15 rupees is left with the consumer. So he can buy few more units of commodity X and commodity Y. So this particular combination of 1 unit of Y and 3 unit of X is not a right combination, because still the money is left, and the main aim of consumer is to maximize his utility, and for that he has to spend his entire money income. So if this is the case, then which is the next best combination? If you say 7 and 7, yes, the marginal utility of x by px is equal to marginal utility of y by pi, that is 7 is equal to 7. But what is happening with regard to money expenditure? With regard to money expenditure, you can see here friends, this particular 2 units of y commodity and 4 units of x commodity. So again 4 into 2 plus 2 into 3. As I told you, the price of x commodity is rupees 2 and the price of y commodity is rupees 3. So here 4 into 2, 8 plus 6, 3 into 2, 6. This is equal to 14. So 24 is the money income, he is spending 14 rupees, still 10 rupees is left with him. So neither this is a good combination. Then which is the right combination? You can see here friends, in the entire table there is only one combination which will make this particular formula effective. Marginal utility of money expenditure is equal to marginal utility of x divided by price of x, which in turn is equal to marginal utility of y divided by price of y. And which is that combination? It is this particular marginal utility of x by px is 5, and here with regard to y commodity, marginal utility of y by py is 5. So why is this particular combination? What is the combination over here? The combination is 4 units of commodity y and 6 units of commodity x. Why is it so? Now see here friends, I would say 4, let us say 6 units of x, so 6 into 2 plus 4 units of commodity y, 4 into 3. So 6 into 2 is 12 plus 4 into 3 is 12. This is equal to 24, and our money income of the consumer is 24. So all these things are equal to each other. This is what it means. Let us see. So here, what is the marginal utility of money expenditure? It is phi for X commodity and phi for Y commodity. So this is also phi, marginal utility of money expenditure of X and Y. Mu Y upon mu X at 4 units is phi, and with regard to Y commodities it is also phi. So this is the ideal combination where the consumer is maximizing his satisfaction. Going ahead. So the consumer is in equilibrium in respect of two goods X and Y when he is buying 6 units of 5-star and 4 units of Dairy Milk. As I told in the previous slide, 2 into 6 plus 3 into 4, that is equal to 24. This is with regard to 5-star and this is with regard to Dairy Milk. You can see the shades. So marginal utility of money expenditure is equal to the ratio of marginal utility of X to its price, which in turn is equal to the ratio of marginal utility of Y with its price. So your marginal utility of money expenditure that we got was phi, that is equal to 10 divided by 2, which is also equal to phi, that is equal to 15 divided by 3, which is also equal to phi. So this is the crux of the law, that is marginal utility of money expenditure. We are equating it with the ratio of marginal utility and price of commodity X, which in turn is equal to the ratio of marginal utility and price of Y. So with this we came to know what is consumer equilibrium in case of two commodities and how important the last rupee spent on each good, this particular phrase is, which is nothing but marginal utility of money expenditure. Now the same thing, friends, we shall try to see in a diagram, in the form of diagram. So diagrammatic representation of law of equimarginal utility. Again, an interesting graph. So you can see this is the first panel of the graph, which is telling us about 5-star, and this is the second panel of the graph, which is telling us about Dairy Milk. So here it is commodity X and commodity Y. So from the marginal utility of money expenditure table, from the previous table, we have got their respective points 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with commodity X, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for commodity Y. Now plotting those particular points for units 1 to 6, we get on y-axis the marginal utility of money expenditure for X and marginal utility of money expenditure for Y. So these are the different points. For first commodity, the marginal utility of money expenditure was 10. For second commodity, it was 9, and so on. So this is the curve that we are getting, which is showing us about the marginal utility of money expenditure at different units. And the next curve is with regard to commodity Y. So this is also telling us about the marginal utility of money expenditure with regard to commodity Y. And as I told, as we saw it in our previous slide, the marginal utility of money expenditure was phi. 10 divided by 2 was phi, and 15 divided by 3, even that was phi. So that phi, I would like to bring it over here in the picture. You can see this particular line where in both the panels it is crossing at on y-axis at 5th marginal utility of money expenditure. So you can see the equality, and the law says that the consumer should stop at this particular point. Which is that point? With regard to commodity X, he should buy maximum 6th unit, that is the last rupee spent on 6th unit, and in case of Y commodity it is 4 units. So this was our ideal combination, 6 units of X commodity and 4 units of Y commodity, both giving us marginal utility of money expenditure at 5. So this is the ideal situation, this is the equilibrium situation. In case if you want to experiment and see what will happen if the consumer consumes one less unit of commodity X, that is instead of 6, let us say he will consume 5 units, and he will consume one more unit of commodity phi instead of with regard to commodity Y. So instead of 4, let us say he will consume 4. So you can see, your friends, the movement from 6 to 5, what is happening, that much utility he is sacrificing, and the movement in panel B from 4 to X. For your reference, what the consumer is doing, the consumer is moving from 0.6 to 0.5. So this much, this particular area of utility he is giving up, and when he is moving from 4 to 5, this particular area he is gaining. So what is happening over here, this red area, and here it is the green area. So what is the red area, the utility or satisfaction that is giving up, and what is the green area, the satisfaction that is getting. So if you observe carefully in the graph, this particular red area is loss of utility. So how much is the loss of utility? It is given by the points A, B, C, D. So the entire shaded area A, B, C, D is the loss of the consumer. Whereas what is the gain of the consumer? The gain of the consumer is this green area, which is E, F, G, H. So you can see here, friends, the loss of utility is more than the gain of utility. So ultimately the consumer will not be having maximum satisfaction. His satisfaction will be below the level of maximum satisfaction. So this is what the law of equimarginal utility tells us. So friends, with this I have come to an end of the class. As usual, there are few assumptions for this law, and the assumptions are that the consumer should be rational, there should be no change in his taste, there should be no change in the prices of the commodities, there should be no change in preferences of the consumer, and all those same laws, same assumptions that we have studied. The marginal utility of money expenditure should be constant, and all those things. So with all the given assumptions, this particular law has played a very important role in our cardinal utility analysis. So with this, I end my class of law of equimarginal utility, as well as to a certain extent we have come at the last phase of cardinal utility analysis. So friends, in my next class, let us see a very small topic, and that is consumer surplus. What is consumer surplus? So as usual, by the time we meet next time, thank you for watching my channel Echo Aftab, and thank you for watching all the videos under the series of Understanding Economics with Professor Aftab. So till my next video, I hope you will take care of yourself. As usual, keep smiling, be happy, take care, tata, bye bye.